What is going on, everyone? Welcome to a brand new episode. This is
episode
34?
35.
35. It has been 34 weeks of us doing Thinking Wealthy, something around there. It is a great episode today. Those of you watching on YouTube, you can see we're all dressed up fancy. It was a last-minute plan, but
I think I did the best.
We feel great. Anyway,
let us know who's dressed up the best.
Yeah, let us know
got
who's
the best fit.
dressed up the best.
I'm wearing Owen's shirt.
Y'all can only
I don't
see
have
from
a
waist up too. I got my blue pants
Yeah,
on.
he's got
You
blue
got
pants.
blue pants.
It's cloudy, so I had to come with the light blue
Yeah.
to replace.
We're dripping out right
That's
now.
how we do.
Anyways, so we got a great episode planned for you guys. I'm excited. Everyone's excited. Before we jump in, there's a little fee. You know, this is no monetary fee. Those of you who are new around here, you got to hear about this fee.
Yes, sir.
So this is simply an information exchange, right? We provide you guys with some value, so you guys provide us with value, right? If we made you smile, if we made you laugh, if we look at the world just a little bit differently, all right? Please go tell someone about the show, right? If we help you, you help us. So go tell someone about the show. We grow by word of mouth.
Go
That is
tell
what we
them.
do. But yeah, it's going to be a good episode. I'm excited. We've been recording a bunch of behind-the-scenes footage, so if you want to see that stuff, we'll have it on YouTube soon.
Go check out our YouTube.
And it is Monday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let's jump right in. Who wants
Yes,
to
sir.
open? Who's been thinking about self-development?
I have.
recently.
Owen thinks about self-development a lot.
Oh, and let's
All
hear
right,
it.
Let's hear it.
All right, I don't know where I left off last podcast episode. I think it was the start of my monk mode
Yeah,
journey.
it was start a monk mode.
And I told
Mhm.
you guys that I was waiting for a time to come where I could get inside the gym, and I was just waiting for like a hypothetical time where the gym would work better in my life. But I realized that time is not coming unless I make it like
Right.
appear. I don't
Yeah.
know, right? So I found out about monk mode from Nick, and I started it, and I got a gym membership literally the next day
Yes, sir.
after I hit one workout with Nick.
He
And
did.
I've been going consistently Monday through Friday since then. So I'm on day like 15 or so of monk mode, almost done, halfway through, and my productivity has been great. I started and I made a lot of progress on my new project, Northbound. It's a clothing brand that you guys can check out. I
Yes,
posted
sir.
a little bit about
I
that.
love Northbound.
Yeah,
Northbound, baby.
the bulk and in the gym I've been doing good, but I have a lot of work to do because I am very skinny to begin with.
Hey, it don't matter. You
Yeah.
grind.
Let's see. I have no Snapchat right now, so that's another thing that I've stayed consistent with.
No
15 days, no
distractions.
Snapchat.
Let's
Or
go.
over
W's.
that. And yeah, so monk mode, I credit a lot to Iman Ghazi because he told me, or he didn't tell me, but it sounded like he was talking to me.
He's talking to you
He
directly.
said if you want to chase your dreams or like accomplish your, life goals, do monk mode. And so far, I've gotten a taste of it, and it's only been 15 days. So that's my review on monk mode.
Yes, sir. All right.
That's dope.
cool.
As someone who just finished up monk mode, I think it's probably the best possible thing you can do as a young entrepreneur, right? Because most kids that are watching this right now are in the age of range of like 14 to 18, 19, right? And you're listening to us, and you're probably in good shape already, so you don't have to really worry about like going hard and having to like change your entire physical body, right? The main focus here is learning how to make money, right? That's one of our huge things is being fiscally responsible. And
Yes, sir.
monk mode is a really good like catalyst for that growth because you're learning to rein in the discipline that you have to learn to be successful. I mean,
Right.
every single thing in your life to be successful requires discipline, and monk mode is just a perfect example of how to build that discipline.
It's
So,
gonna.
yeah.
It's not gonna make you money.
It's not gonna make you
necessarily,
money,
but it's
But
gonna
to build
teach
those
you
fundamentals
how to
and
build
Mhm.
those fundamentals, get successful.
the
and,
core values that it takes to be
Yeah,
a
exactly.
achieve your
successful
goals.
entrepreneur.
Yeah.
See, success, money is a byproduct of success, right?
Yes, sir.
So when you're successful, you'll make money. But
There
if
you
you're
go.
constantly chasing money, you're not going to be successful.
Yeah. Don't hide it in the mic.
Oh,
What?
I thought you were saying you
What?
wanted to talk.
No,
Yeah.
All right.
sorry.
Okay.
Very good. So,
What else?
yeah. If
Tristan, have
guys-
you thought
I
about
have-
doing monk mode?
I've thought about it. I have not considered because I haven't I haven't learned about it. I don't really know necessarily what it is.
All right,
I'd love to know what it is. Now that everyone's talking about it, I want to
Mhm.
kind of get in on it.
Do we give him a quick breakdown?
Sure.
Sure, why not? Yeah, actually, yeah. In case people are new,
So
give
I
a
don't-
quick
I don't
breakdown.
think monk mode is something that Iman Ghazi created, but it's something that he
He popularized.
blew it up.
Yeah.
But it's 3 non-negotiables, which are no alcohol and no smoking. That's 1. 30 minutes of exercise daily and 10 minutes of meditation. And then you add your own variables in there. So I have 3 variables, and mine were no Snapchat. I made a bulking diet, and I said I'll stay to that. And then I said that I'm going to post once a day on my personal social media accounts. And that's the only variable that I've kind of like slacked on because I didn't post every day on my personal, but I did post every day on our Thinking Wealthy. So that's debatable.
Right.
But yeah, so it's those 3, and then a few things that you want to do in your own life, which are could be saving money, you know. Like if you want to quit cigarettes or something, this is a good challenge for you.
Yeah.
If you want to set any goal, this is a good challenge for you. My favorite thing is that I'm in the gym now,
Mm-hmm.
and the hardest thing is the meditation because it's just a battle within yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
I did it this morning. I really couldn't even, like I was trying so hard to just lock into the breath in my nose, but I was thinking about this episode, and it was hard.
It is hard. It really is. But yeah, do monk mode if you are really looking for that like catalyst for your growth. Like you're 14, you're 15, you're like, what do I do to separate myself from the crowd right now? Do monk mode.
Right.
Literally just do monk mode.
Get on that routine. It'll only promote you to
Mhm.
get further. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So go watch the Iman Godzi video on how to do monk mode.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to branch into the meditation thing if you want to like
Sure.
slide into that. So the thing that's really important about meditation, I've been doing some research recently about, mindfulness, the correlation to mental health, and just like cognitive therapy in general, right? So obviously meditation is it's the simplest way to break down a mindfulness exercise, right? You got to be working out your brain just as much as you're working out your body. And so the most important thing here to practice mindfulness is by doing meditation. Now, mindfulness is essentially just being present in the moment and not letting your thoughts think about the future, think about the past, just completely aware of your present moment, right? And you see, mindfulness is the most influential factor in your mental health overall. Like, it is number one, literally defined by psychology, that mindfulness is the most important. So, I don't know, what's your take on that?
Yeah, for me, I think I've always loved meditation. It's always been a thing it's one of those things that me and Nick kind of both came upon on our own individually and then came together like, oh yeah, this is sick. And meditation has always been a technique that I've used for like at least calming myself down. I think, everyone kind of can battle with overthinking and worrying too much about completing everything in a day or trying to get all these goals done. And I think the most common reason why people don't complete their goals or don't complete something in a day is because they're overthinking and they're stressing too much about everything they have to do, and therefore they don't get it all done. And to me, meditation is kind of like the way to reset your brain if you're overthinking or getting too stressed out, right? And by just practicing it every day, for people who haven't done it before, like I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's too hard, it's I can't focus, right? But it's a skill in itself, and it's just like working out. You're not going to be able to jump under 225 pounds and just push it up with your chest first time, right? Like you got to get there. Same thing with meditation. You're not going to be able to meditate
For 10 minutes straight.
Yeah, 10 minutes or 30 minutes straight if you're never done it before, right? For anybody who tries meditation for the first time, it's probably going to be you sit down and all you can think about is all the other things you could be doing, all the other things going on in your head.
That's very true.
And it's like kind of eye-opening just how scary that can be. But it's kind of the reason why you meditate in the first place. A lot of people are like, well, then I can't do it because I can't stop thinking. But that's the whole reason you're doing it, right?
That's
to
literally
learn how to control the way your brain works and to just calm down and think about nothing for a bit.
I want to add a metaphor on there, right? Like the most important thing about meditation, people don't realize is when they're like, oh, I can't focus, so I don't want to do meditation. That's like saying someone who's out of shape, they're like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym just because I'm out of shape.
Out of shape,
Like
yeah.
that's the exact reason you have to meditate.
What about the one being in the forest with the monkey?
Oh, the metaphor of how to actually meditate?
Use this metaphor if you cannot.
Focus during your meditation.
Yes, if you can't focus on the meditation, do this.
Okay. This is my little simple thought process. I got it from like this video I was watching. Like some monk was explaining how he thinks of meditation.
Right.
Essentially, you're sitting in a forest, right? And you got a little monkey dude who's chilling with you. And the monkey will start to run away and like swing from branch to branch away from you when you lose focus. And so he's jumping from thought branch to thought branch to thought branch. But your goal is to tell your monkey that he has to stay with you. He has to sit with you and sit there while you meditate. So the whole thing is that balance of keeping the monkey with you as well as staying focused in that present moment. So that's my thought process for when I meditate,
Yeah.
But
I think that's like, it's a great way to look at it, and it's just the number one thing that people mess up when starting meditation is they think it should just be this automatic thing they can do, but it's just like any other skill. It's
really
just going
is.
to take time,
yeah.
and it's going to really push you to kind of get yourself to that next level. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to sit down and really just center your mind, right? And
It's
I think
hard.
Yeah, like it's the hardest. It's one of the hardest things that I've ever, I think, learned to do is like, and I'm happy now that basically at any point in time I can calm my mind down very easily using meditation.
Once you learn the skill, it's cool how you can apply it to, any time and place of your life. Like I've been in the car waiting for people to like pick me up, or if I get to class early and I am bored, like I can just, lean back and just meditate to like pass time, or, whatever. And since I'm doing monk mode, I'm required to do it 10 minutes a day. And if I don't do it in the morning before class, but I get to class early, I'll just do it for 10 minutes.
Yeah. And it's crazy how once you do that, your mind can be so centered and focused like it never was at the whole start of the day, right? Like,
for sure.
It's crazy how 10 minutes can change your focus and your mindset for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So don't
skip
on
out.
Meditation.
So many people are always like, oh, meditation is stupid. Like, oh, it's like opening your third eye and chakras and stuff like that. Like, I personally don't practice that stuff, like the spiritualism
part of it.
Yeah, I don't do that. I do it simply just for the fact that you can control your thoughts by learning how to meditate correctly.
Yeah.
It's literally the most practical step for anyone who's watching this, because I guarantee you're into self-development, you want to grow as a person, start meditating. If you're not meditating already, literally start meditating.
All right.
I think I definitely could. Or, do you have a thought?
No, go ahead.
We want to know. We want to hear about you meditating.
Yeah, so I think I definitely could have used this, like hearing about all your benefits, because so last week I started a dropshipping store and it kind of blew up. I didn't have a store prepared. I was literally rushing everything in a school day. Like during school, I was like getting some guy on Fiverr to do a store for me. I was trying to make sure I was posting videos consistently. And when I got home, I usually try to take like a quick power nap so I have energy to like either go to work or get some work done throughout the day. And I literally could not sleep because I was so stressed about getting my store put together.
Right.
And this like honestly, like I should definitely be meditating in those kind of moments.
Yeah.
Like
that's
I don't know.
time to do it.
My mind was so flooded. Like I literally couldn't even hop on games to relax. Like sometimes what I usually do, I couldn't even do that because I was so stressed about getting my product together.
I actually kind of the only similar experience I had to that was when I was getting into NFTs and they were blowing up, and I was like on my computer like just watching the floor price in Ethereum just grow and grow and grow, and it's like stressing. It's like because you can only buy a certain amount of Ethereum with USD, per week. And I was feeling that same way.
It's like all that money you're kind of just like, I could be making.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Potential.
You have that FOMO, that stress of missing out, and that's like at least a big thing with investing, but also just in general with business and making money. Is I think people, if you stress out, it's the easiest thing to stress about, like stressing out about missing out on an opportunity. But you have to realize that like when you stress out about those opportunities and then try to grab hold of them, that often is when you mess up and lose the most amount of money, right? When you're stressing out about missing out and then you try to get in later and it just doesn't work.
Timing will work itself out.
Right.
So my question for Tristan is, you haven't started meditating, right? Like,
I have not.
Do you intend on doing it?
I've never
Because
thought
we talk about it often.
But I should definitely start doing that now.
Yeah.
I'll
try
start working
doing
on
like
it.
10 minutes a day. If you want like the easiest two things for me to get in the zone more, the zone I'm referring to is like basically like when you're in that point where your brain's kind of locked in and focused.
It just flows, right?
And it just feels like you're thinking about nothing. For me, my two things is this. I start off by taking deep breaths, right? So focusing on taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And that's like what I do to basically, anytime a thought comes in my head, I just refocus on my breathing. And then after that, it just comes down to simple, I almost try to breathe as little as possible. Once I'm kind of focused in more on my breath, I focus on taking the smallest amount of breath possible. And it's almost like you go into like sleep, but your brain's still awake.
For sure.
It's a great feeling.
Really what I do is I try to get through 2 breaths with no side thought. So 2 breaths focused on the air going in my nose. And if I get through 2, so it's like I count 1, 2, restart. 1, 2, because you can always make it a 2. It's like break it down into 2s, and it's manageable to do 2 breaths.
That's actually
with
really
no
good.
Distractions.
Right.
I learned that when I was training cross country, and we were doing like planks.
Right.
When the plank gets really tough, count to 2 because you can always stay up for 2 more seconds.
Right.
So 1, 2, again 1, 2. It's manageable.
Right.
That's actually really good.
Yeah, I can see it on your face.
That's a really good one. So yeah, there's so many methods for meditation out there. You just got to start. Like when I first
figure out what works for you, and you'll figure that out by just doing it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
When I first started, I didn't have any idea of what I was doing. I was like, okay, all I know is that I need to breathe.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And then over the course of like the past 2 years, I've like refined my actual process.
Yeah.
I've never watched like a YouTube tutorial or anything, or like looked up specific ways how to meditate. You just figure it out as you go.
You just do it.
And meditation is goated.
All right.
Sir?
What's next?
Well, I guess if we keep like leaking from meditation, we can go into like the thing that I've been learning is the correlation between mindfulness and cognitive therapy. So essentially, cognitive therapy, for those who don't know, is the thought process of thoughts. So you're like thinking about thoughts, right? Like the whole point is that you recognize which thoughts are good, which thoughts are bad, and you don't have to identify with any of them, right?
It's like that TikTok audio.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
a man thinks, all a man thinks about his thoughts,
Yeah.
he has nothing to think about but
Exactly. So it's kind of similar to that, but essentially the whole therapy side that comes in is that when you begin to recognize those thoughts that are happening, you can take a step back and you're like, okay, that is a negative thought, but that's not my thought, and I don't identify with that.
Right.
So this is the crucial point in mental health, is when you start to have those negative thoughts, because that's when you start to have bad mental health. It's when those negative thoughts are running you. You learn to take a step back because you're mindful and present in your moment, and you're like, okay, those bad thoughts are not my own. I can choose to think good thoughts, and I can choose any thought I want, or I don't even have to think thoughts at all.
Right.
So that's what cognitive therapy is. So then when I took it a step further, right, I practice stoicism. It's one of my life philosophies, the complete mastery of emotions and, bearing any sort of like issues in your life without complaint, right?
Right.
So the whole thing that leads into stoicism is literally just like you're in control. The only thing you can control is yourself, nothing else around you.
Right.
So it's really important when you realize that and you take ownership of your thoughts, is that you can recognize negative thoughts, not identify with them, and think positive thoughts.
Yeah.
As dumb as it sounds, like for someone who's depressed and you tell them, oh, just think happy. it's mean, right, to say that to them,
Right.
but that genuinely is the way.
It's like as soon as you notice a negative thought, you capture it and throw it out the window.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. And
I
it's
mean,
being present
yeah,
like that.
And like, it's always a struggle because when it comes to mental health and talking about this type of stuff, because I think for all of us, we don't battle with any mental disorder or any issue like that, but a lot of people do, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you feel like the strategies that we're presenting here are very basic, and they lie at the very principle of kind of figuring out your mental health.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always apply for everyone, and we don't want you to feel alienated or feel like you're doing something wrong if
you're
it
not
isn't
practicing
working.
them.
And
Mhm.
if it isn't, if you're not practicing them, or if it isn't working or whatever, right? We're here to just give you some basic information to try out, see if it works, see
Yeah.
if
These are
it
just
helps.
recommendations.
These are the steps that are going to help you get to where you need to be, right?
Mhm.
By starting these steps, it will get you on the path. It's
Yeah.
not going to keep you on it or bring you to some enlightenment, but it's just going to be the steps that we all collectively have taken to
Mhm.
get places.
I think
right?
that was definitely needed to be said.
Right.
Good work, Aiden.
Yeah.
Because
That's very facts.
I think one thing that people are going to stress out a lot is, oh, I wasn't doing this already, and now I'm behind, and all these people are doing this, and I can't do it, or I can't figure it out. It's okay. That's part of what's happening with probably your mental health, is you're stressing so much about what other people are doing, right?
Mhm.
Or why it's not working for you.
Yep.
Realize that everyone's mental health is different. Every person's journey is different, and everybody needs a kind of different thing to get through life, right?
Mhm.
We get messages in our Discord every day about like, I'm going through this, but I'm trying all these things you're recommending and it's not working, like blah blah blah.
Right.
Like, these are just recommendations.
And they're also just, like I said, the steps to getting there, right?
Yeah.
By
These aren't-
starting to do these
yeah.
things, you'll start to unlock and figure out what it is that your brain specifically works with, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's just kind of the get started and figure it out type of thing, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, also just with mental health, sometimes things get worse than our little advice of just be happy can be.
Yeah.
So if you need to seek help, go seek help. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be afraid. I went to therapy for 1.5 years just to put it out there, and it really did help me. And I was one of those people who didn't like to talk about it, and I was afraid to tell people, oh, I went to therapy. But genuinely, it's a really helpful thing to just be able to talk about what's going on in your life. You know what I'm saying?
These practices are just a baseline for like mental issues, right? Like this is not gonna the end all be all way to solve. That's
Right.
what we're trying to drive home,
But the
Alright.
first thing you got to be able to do to kind of solve those problems and to get action is be ready to take action. You know what I'm saying? People who are, feeling down or feeling like they're just out of whack, the first thing that they tend to do is blame it on the fact. They're like, well, I can't do this because I'm depressed, and now I'm not going to do anything about it because I'm depressed, right? And it's like, I get it. Like, it's hard. Life is not easy. But you got to take the steps to get there. You know what I'm saying? You can't just say, well, I'm depressed, so now because I'm depressed, I'm not going to do anything about it, right?
Like, you gotta want the help.
Yeah, and
that
you got to
want.
get up and you got to do it. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully it just gets you start thinking about it and start wanting to go and take action if that's
Agreed.
something you're struggling
Agreed.
with.
Sure.
Okay, so I got the next topic here. Thing I've been thinking about a lot recently.
Okay.
So how do you win the day, right? Well, you win the day by winning the morning. Now, I'm a huge morning guy.
Right.
And last episode, I talked about, the importance of my morning routine, how I'm trying to refine it. let's just talk about morning routine / winning the day. What do you guys do to win each day? Because that's what's important. I want to start with Tristan. What do you do to win the day? What does your morning routine look like? How are you trying to win each day?
I want to start off by saying that I'm way more productive like towards the end of the day, because that's like I don't know why, like it sounds like a dumb excuse. Like most people would say that they're more productive at the end of the day.
You'd be like I feel like most people. Well, it's like an early bird or a night owl, right? Like, it's
like I could stay up.
Split.
I could have 4 hours of sleep and stay up till 3 in the morning, even though my sleep schedule is perfect. Like if I'm doing something, I could stay up really late. You know what I mean? Like I can't get tired unless I'm like laying in bed. So, my morning routine is very, very like basic. I don't have like a routine almost. It's just like I get up 30-40 minutes before school, shower for 10, get ready, like shave, do all the basic stuff, maybe eat if I have some time, and then I go to school, and that's my day.
So are you winning the morning?
In my book, yes, because I got out to school and I'm not like tired. I'm not like I used to go to school extremely tired, but throughout the days I'm like fine. Like I'm sleeping at a good time every day. Like, you know, people say when you actually fall asleep at the same time consistently, you'll feel better, and I can prove that.
It's not necessarily about like waking up waking up early in the morning. Like for Nick and Owen, it seems like you guys really mess with that waking up in the morning, getting above everyone else by being up in the morning, right? And I like that too. Like for me, like I kind of feel like I could fall into either category of like I can either wake up early and feel that way, or wake up later and stay up later kind of thing. I can kind of focus in both, but like the important thing, like saying like for Tristan, maybe he messes more with kind of that nighttime getting stuff done after he's done with all of his school and his work, right? So like everyone's got a different thing, so we got to keep that in mind, you know. But like I definitely think that somewhat getting up a little, like even if it's getting up 30 minutes earlier than you used to, right? And getting 30 extra minutes to just have like a little more time, so you're not rushing to get out the door. At least like, sorry, I'm kind of like interrupting you and interjoining my kind of morning routine idea in there.
You're good, bro.
But for me, my morning routine kind of is all over the place, because with school now, it's like Monday and Wednesdays I have school kind of earlier in the morning, right? And then Tuesdays and Thursdays I don't have to wake up super early, so I could sleep in a little more if I wanted to. Mm-hmm. I try to always wake up at that same 7:30 time for me, but it just kind of goes all over the place and depends, right? And I think my thing is like I always feel more productive if I wake up 30 minutes earlier than I'm supposed to. Mm-hmm. Get up 30 minutes earlier than I have to be there on time, and that's when I just feel like, okay, I'm winning my morning. I'm starting off. I get a little more time to think about things and get ready. And you know, you could try that to kind of get you started with that idea.
Yeah, no, I think waking up earlier than usually it just gives you kind of like, it gives you a sense of like it motivates you almost. It's like, oh, I'm doing something good. Like first part of my day, I'm doing good. Right.
Yeah, I agree with that, Tristan, actually a lot. Like when I get up in the morning, so I have school Monday through Thursday, but Tuesday, Thursday, I don't have it till later, like you said, Aiden. Right. And I could sleep in, but I try to hit the gym before school on those days. And whenever I hit the gym in the morning, dude, like mentally, I'm like level-headed. My focus is more clear than ever. Yeah. And when I'm just driving to the gym, it's like I wish that this feeling would last all 24 hours of the day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, by the time I'm like out of the gym and things, like I'm still, it's probably like, you know, 9 o'clock by then, and things are going well, but like just nothing hits the same as it does at like 6:30 in the morning, and it's cloudy and it's dark, and you know, and the windows are down. But that's what I like about the day.
Right.
I agree. I'm a stickler about my morning routine, right? Because I'm very much a morning person. So when I wake up, I agree with Aiden having that extra 30 minutes now to just like do what you need to do and kind of slow down your morning a little bit. Because so many people wake up and they see their morning as like, okay, I got to get up at this time so I can be to this place on time, right? Or like so I can get to school on time. You should honestly be waking up like a half an hour earlier than you need to give yourself that time. You can meditate in the morning, you can journal, you can read, you can take that time just to really start your day in the correct zone. And don't go on your phone when you wake up for that half hour. Right. That's what I've really been on recently is I set a 30-minute timer on my phone. And for those 30 minutes, I'll just like do some reading in the morning. I'll just get some stuff done. I'll do my meditation. And then when the 30-minute timer goes off, then I can grab my phone. Then I'll start getting ready for the day. Right. So it's always 30 minutes, get up earlier, don't go on your phone, and just do something productive you have to start your day with a win, you know? Like,
Right.
I'll write down my goals for the day and then just do
Right.
meditation. Like, simple like that. Start the day correctly, and when you win the morning, you win the rest of your day.
Yeah.
That's how it's like, just win the rest of the day.
And you could journal and meditate in 20 minutes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it takes
Mhm.
10 minutes for each, and you could have 2 wins in that morning,
That's
all by just waking up 30 minutes earlier, right? And you still get everything else done too. You'll be ready for school, and you'll probably be way more like mentally ready to do whatever you're gonna do, school, work, whatever. You know, you're gonna be way more ready for the day when you wake up that 30 minutes earlier. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, I could be sleeping 30 more minutes, right?
Go to
But,
bed 30 minutes earlier.
You could do that, or a lot of the time, people just oversleep the 30 minutes anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like 30 minutes of time that it really doesn't affect it too much, right? If we want to go through the morning routines, are we good with that? Does anyone have
I
any
think
more
I wrapped
things?
it up.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about something that I've been exploring a lot, which is kind of figuring out sleep schedules a bit more and figuring
Oh,
out
yeah, dude.
my sleep, right? So recently I've been I used to have more of a routine, right, for sleep in terms of getting to bed and waking up at the same time every day. And I've been lacking on that a bit, but what I've noticed almost is sleep is kind of in this thing that, like, I like to think of it as like a range, right? So the optimal time to be in bed is 7 to 8 hours for me, and I think for most people that's kind of an agreeable thing. In between that 7 and 8 hours where you're sleeping is where you're going to get the most amount of rest and feel most rested for the next day,
Yeah.
right? And routine is really important in that, right? So if one time you're going to bed at 10 and next you're going to bed at 2 and like all these random things, and you're going to bed at like 7 in the night one time, you know what I mean? Like, that is out of routine, right? Sorry. And so for me, when I'm talking about routine, for me, my bedtime is in between like 11 and 12 and getting up in between 7 and 8, right? Like, that's like the optimal time frame, right? But what's kind of cool is, from like, what you can do is this idea of those are your weekday times, and then you could go kind of later, like in between 12 and 1 and 8 and 9 if you wanted to for the weekends, if you like to stay up a little later,
True.
go hang out with your friends a little later, whatever, right? But see how we're kind of keeping it in that range that I'm talking about of 7 to 8 hours,
Your body
right?
needs that.
Your body needs the range, right? If you're one night you go to bed at 1, but then you still wake up at 7:30 or whatever, sometimes, like, one day it might feel fine, but if you continue this process, that range gets messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that I've looked at research and looked at how this works is mainly when you sleep, right? It kind of breaks up into chunks of periods of time where you're in 3 different areas. There's like just kind of like surface level sleep, and then deep sleep, and then like REM sleep, right?
Mhm.
And our brains go through cycles throughout the night to when you're sleeping. So you start off in that kind of regular, kind of just basic sleep area, and then you dive into deep sleep, and then you go into REM sleep. That's usually when you dream, and it kind of cycles like that, right? And what's an important thing that a lot of people don't realize is light plays a big factor in this, right?
Mhm.
So if you have a window in your room and light kind of naturally floods into your room as the morning starts, that's a really good way to kind of just start your brain, because your brain sees light as kind of almost like I think it's called like the circadian time or whatever,
Yeah.
some word like that. And what it basically is as your brain starts, right, and the light hits your eyes and your brain wakes up, it's going to start the timer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to go through the day, and then it wants to go back to bed around that same time that you went to bed the night before, right?
Yeah.
Because the timer's still there.
Circadian rhythm.
Yeah, circadian rhythm, that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then what it is, right, is people are jumping around in this rhythm, and they're never able to get their brain to one specific period where it's just, I'm waking up and going to bed around the same time, and I'm sleeping about the same amount of time every week, right?
I have a practical step for people, right?
Okay.
But
Hit
you can
'em with
finish
it.
your thought. You finish your
Okay,
thought.
I'll finish my thought.
Yeah.
But then, basically, my idea is this, and this has worked for me a lot, is I will be laying in bed, right? And I've seen this time and time again. Let's say I stay up a little later and I go to bed at 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to bed at 12. My goal is to wake up between 7:30 and 8, right? I know that time frame right there is the best time to wake up. But let's say I sleep at 12 and I wake up at around 7:30, but my alarm is for 8, right? And if I wake up at 7:30, I naturally wake up. You should get up out of bed.
Yeah, no, don't ever stay in bed.
Because what's happening, right? And a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's not 8 o'clock yet. I'm going to get 30 more minutes. I guarantee you'll feel less rested if you sleep those 30 minutes. Because what's going to happen is your brain's going to go back into deep sleep. And then your alarm's going to wake you up in deep sleep. And you're not going to feel as rested as if you just were to wake up at the end of the cycle when you naturally woke up.
That's like happened to me this week.
Yeah, it happened to me today. You know what I'm saying? Like I woke up at 7:30, but then I was like, all right, I'm just gonna lay here until 8.
That's
and then I went back into deep sleep and got woken up again, and it felt worse.
That's a lot of you have a lot of truth behind that.
Right.
And you knew like the actual terms for it. So
the
shout out to
science
Aiden.
behind it.
Y'all ready for this? Okay, so
Hit 'em with
I've
it.
been using the sleep tracker app for over a year now. You remember, Aiden? Do you remember when I first started this? Right? Like I put you on the app. I don't know if you still use it.
I remember there was the one time where I got 100% and Nick got mad at me.
Yeah, because I've only gotten 100% one time, but I actually got 99% earlier this week.
W's.
So basically, my practical step here is go download this app. It's literally free. It's called Sleep Tracker.
It's a great app.
It's so useful. It just records you sleeping at night, like the audio. It sounds creepy.
It's a little
Ayo.
creepy.
A little creepy, but it helps so much, right? So literally last night, right here, you can, if you're watching on YouTube, I got 7 hours and 49 minutes of sleep. The
Right.
actual time I was asleep was 7 hours. So let me explain why this is important. I got a sleep quality of 64%, which is not that high. So
Right.
this is where the practical step comes into play. Download this app and start tracking your actual sleep. Now, your body needs 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and that's sleep, right? Not 7 to 8 hours of being in bed,
Right.
7 to 8 hours of being asleep.
Sleep.
So for me, I've noticed it's around about 45 minutes to an hour of difference of when I'm actually in bed and sleep. So
Right.
for me, I need to be in bed for around 9 hours to get 8 hours of sleep.
Right.
And this is pretty common for most people. So you need to be in bed more than you actually think. So once you use the
that's an
Sleep
important
Tracker
thing.
app, you can start to see your sleep habits, use it consistently, and you can begin to see where your discrepancies are. And I guarantee you are not getting enough sleep as it is. Most kids our age aren't even
Right.
getting enough sleep anyways.
And a lot of people have gotten used to sleeping 6 hours, right? And that's
Yeah,
like a thing.
It's so bad for your body.
And well, like some people can get used to it, right?
Let me add something on that. When you're on 6 hours of sleep, you're actually equally cognitively like close to being drunk. Like that's what the level of your
Interesting.
cognitive function is
Right,
close
like
to being
it's-
drunk
yeah.
when you're on 6 hours of sleep.
And people, I know a lot of people, we probably all do, where like at least like a lot of people, students, sleeping 4 to 6 hours a day, right?
So
And
bad.
kind of going through it. And see, this is the other important thing that I think people don't read. Oh my God, I am knocking
Bro's
over everything today.
knocking everything.
Okay, so this is a really important thing that I think it's with students, but also I've seen it with, like I haven't seen it as much with the entrepreneurship people because I think it's kind of a big conversation about sleeping well, right? But for students, this is a big thing that I've seen. So when you're sleeping, right,
Mhm.
your brain uses that. So there's the 3 different periods, right? Like I was talking about that basic sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep, right?
Yep.
And they all have different functions. Your brain does all of these different types of sleeping because it has different functions, right? When you're in that basic sleep, what it basically is you're organizing your thoughts and ideas that you learned throughout the day, right? So let's say you went to school and you learned a bunch of things and then you got home and you did some more work on your computer and you learned some new things about your business. And now you got all these files of different information that you learned in a day, right? And it's in your brain and now you're going to go to sleep. Your brain's going to go to sleep and it's going to organize all those thoughts, right? And you're not consciously going to realize any of this, but your brain's doing it. And it's reorganizing and getting rid of all the junk you don't need, right? You're forgetting about the random things in the day that don't matter. You're often going to forget about those things that made you upset that you're going to just forget about the next day, right? Pointless things that aren't needed to be there. And that's what that basic sleep does. And then the deep sleep, what it does is it learns and it heals, right? So your brain needs that deep sleep so it can learn those ideas, right? A lot of people stay up and try to study until 3 in the morning for their test, when it would have been a lot better to stay up only until 12 and sleep for those 3 hours because their brain is going to learn and retain the information 10 times better, right?
Overnight.
And overnight. And this is a crucial thing that people don't realize. And this is why they always say, like, your teacher will probably say, or people that you've heard say, like, get good sleep, because that sleep is crucial for having that cognitive ability to go back into your files, because now your brain organized them, right? That information you learned earlier, you can go back and grab it when you need it, right? Rather than it being a jumbled mess of disorganized ideas. And that's why if you one day maybe get more sleep than you normally do, you probably feel 10 times better and more organized and healthy, right? And that's kind of the crucial thing that I'm always bringing up is like, I would rather sleep 3 more hours than study 3 more hours, right?
Yeah.
Because once you get into those end of the night, like it's 3 in the morning and I've been studying all night, you're not going to remember any of that. That's all going to go away.
I can speak on this firsthand, honestly. So, beginning of the year / like December, January, February, I was literally sleeping like 4 hours a night, right? Like I was in that entrepreneur grind set where I was like, okay, I'm gonna work really late every single night. I'm gonna wake up at 4:30, hit the gym, and I'm gonna grind the rest of the day.
Right.
I literally did this for months, like
Can't,
4 or 5 months at a time, right? I was literally just working off of 5 hours of sleep every single night, and I recently switched over to 8 to 9 hours every night. I cannot describe to you how important the difference is in how I feel now.
It really is.
My productivity levels have boosted, like, if there was a percentage, I would say it's probably like 200 to 300%.
Right.
Sleep is crucial to success.
It is.
I don't care what anyone tells you when they're like, oh, get on 5 hours of sleep, wake up. It doesn't matter. You can sleep later when you're tired. Like, no. Literally, sleep now, 8 to 9 hours, and I guarantee it's going to solve so many issues in your life. Sleep more. It will help so much. Literally, you in particular, bro. You got a garbage sleep schedule. Fix that crap. Sorry to call you out,
It's
but
not
like,
true.
Right.
It's actually not true.
he had a terrible
The
sleep
viewers,
schedule.
if you guys are watching consistently, you guys will see Tristan's progress, and it's going to be a beautiful sight.
Right. And he's already progressed so much.
Sleep
I'm
more,
proud of
bro.
Tristan.
I think I just want to point out I've been getting around 6.5 to 7 hours.
Right.
And it used to like I want to mention in 2020 I was falling asleep when the sun rose and waking up when it was setting. Like, I just want to
Right.
point that out.
You were in that sleep schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm way past something way better
and that's
now.
a common sleep schedule thing. And what's interesting, to bring up kind of final point. Sorry, I'm talking so much about sleep, but there was kind of like I watched this video where I got a lot of information about this. And it was the person recording it was a night shift nurse, or maybe it was doctor. It was either nurse or doctor. And night shift, we all know like that's just terrible, right? It is just something you don't want to have to work. But a lot of people kind of have the idea of like, oh, okay, well, if you work night shifts, then can't you just sleep in the day, right? That's a kind of a typical thought process and idea. But yes, you can, and you will be able to feel rested. But a really important thing that they brought up was the circadian. What is
Circadian
the word?
rhythm.
Circadian rhythm. I don't know why I can't circadian. I can't remember the word. Circadian rhythm. This idea is basically that your brain works best when it's waking up when the sun is rising, and then it's going to bed once it's dark. Right. This is another thing. Like if you have a lot of lights in your room when you go to bed, you might feel less rested. This is a really important thing.
Turn off those LED lights, bro.
Turn off those lights.
Yeah.
A dark room is the best. And I know like a lot of people have a hard time, like, oh, it's so dark in my room, I have trouble sleeping. Just close your eyes, forget about it. No, but like you can figure it out, and I guarantee you it'll help you with your sleep and it'll make you feel better. But the main thing is these night shift workers, they realize that their brain has less cognitive function because it's not waking up with the same time as the light is hitting their eyes, right? And it's this important idea that when you wake up, the first thing you should do is go outside and get light in your eyes. Or look out the window, right? Something to get light hitting your eyes is going to wake up your brain like that. And you'd be surprised. It might not feel like it. It might feel like a cold shower is better or whatever. But I'm telling you, first thing you should do, this is what I do every morning, is I look out the window or I go outside and I meditate because it's crucial for waking up.
Yeah.
It's crucial.
When I go to bed like late and I got to wake up early, I will get in bed and I'll like reach up to my blinds and open them so that the light comes in.
when that
and
light
I'm
comes
chilling.
in when you're waking up.
Yeah, also, because of where we are, I've seen so many people I know walk into there,
Right.
Yeah.
familiar faces. I'm not going to say where we are or who I know, but
Right. He's been seeing people.
yeah, I would see all these people.
Right.
I've
Right.
been watching.
The rat race, that's all it is, man.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but it's okay.
So what's next? Are we doing an hour today? We don't.
How much time we got?
We can kind of decide. Right now we're at 38 minutes.
Ooh,
so
okay.
we can kind of maybe we do a 45 so I have more
Yeah,
time to get to
why don't
work.
we talk about where we're at, where we've progressed from the last episode, and just kind of wrap
Yeah.
up with each of us. Let's start with Tristan. Let's talk
man,
about the schedule, what you've been working on.
I got some great progress. This week has been like in terms of progress and experience, progress levels are down here. Experience is like just sky high.
Well,
Experience
that
is
is
way
progress.
up there. Yeah.
Experience is progress.
So recently, or last week, I think right after the episode, I got a product that I wanted to experiment with drop shipping. It had like nobody was talking about this product. I searched on AliExpress, Amazon, no reviews, like barely any purchases or whatever. Yeah. And I thought, oh, this is something I could try because I saw a TikTok of it earlier. and it blew up, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna try this. So I did that. It blew up within the next couple of days, and that's what I was talking about. I was like, stressing about trying to get that store together. So right now I have like 4K followers on TikTok on that account, which is great because it's been like maybe a week and a half now.
Right.
But in terms of that, my store hasn't been performing that well because this is my first time like actually blowing up through TikTok organic, and I have no idea what I was doing. This is an experiment. I didn't even expect to blow up. But now I got like a ton of experience. I'm like, I could do this next time to get more traffic, get more clicks. But yeah, I got a ton of experience right now, and I just ordered a new product because I just don't feel confident in the last one. I ordered a new product. I got a ton of experience to work with, and I'm really excited to start this new one.
Yeah.
How much money did you make? Tell them.
For that one?
Yeah.
How much money?
You made some money.
We had 150
Sales.
net. Yeah, net.
Dollars in sales.
Dollars in sales.
That's
Right.
good.
That is good.
What about you, Nick?
All right. So from the last podcast episode, I believe I said I wanted to improve my morning schedule. So now every morning I wake up half an hour earlier than I need to, meditate, gratitude journaling, and do a little reading. Been locking that in, feeling so much better because of that. The things I've been working on, I started a different drop shipping store. It just wasn't performing well, so I just got rid of that. And so Tristan and I are going to be working on a clothing brand now. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. Mental health-wise, I hit a slump for like 3 days, right? Like it was down. And then I was like, hey, what am I doing? And then I just went back to all the basics, started drilling in everything. And so I've just been like on fire again. So that's been really nice. Journaling, everything, keeping all the habits consistent, just feeling really good. So that's been really nice. And just making sure that I have all the basics drilled in, because that's what I was letting slip was the basics. Because I finished up monk mode, at least that cycle. And I was like, okay, I'm going to relax a little bit. And like, no, I just don't want to relax. I got to keep on the gas, keeping mental health up, and productivity has been amazing. I just need to work on my actual sleep because I've just been kind of staying up till like 11 each night, like just doing thinking wealthy stuff when I should just be going to bed at like 10:30 after work. So yeah, I guess the thing I need to optimize is my actual sleep right now, but everything else is really good. So I got no complaints.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You?
Okay. Yeah. So for me, it's been interesting for sure. I've been kind of going back to the basics like Nick was doing as well. I've been struggling a lot with not necessarily like baseline mental health, but more like being more productive in the day, right? Getting back to that kind of that productive grind in terms of happiness and just my like fulfillment levels. I've been feeling really good. I've been killing it in school. My relationship's great. Like I really just kind of I've been loving
He has
life.
a girlfriend and she's real, guys.
She is
Like,
real.
She's actually human.
And I've been loving life, right? It's been great. And it's been fun, and I've been able to, like, I've been skating again, which has been a thing that, like, I always love to do, but it kind of going back and doing it again, and, like, more approaching it with this new mindset that I have is fun, because it's just, like, I don't know, it's, like, fun to challenge myself every day, try new things, and, like, really learn new tricks.
They liked the skating and the TikTok,
Right,
too.
and
They were
liked
asking
it.
for more, so you got to
So,
give
yeah,
it to
I gotta
them.
get more
You gotta
clips.
give it to them.
I gotta record more. And it's just been fun. Like, I've just been having a good time with life, but I think part of that has also been kind of my battle with how much fun should I be having and how productive should I be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of jump back and forth with this idea a lot where I'm like, like I need to, be more productive, but then I'm like, but like, I'm having like my life's good right now, like everything's good, like why do I need to push myself harder, right? So it's kind of that battle which I'm dealing with right now. But in terms of thinking wealthy and stuff, like I've just been kind of thinking of new content, new ideas, ways to kind of change up the game a bit and make content that's more exciting and
It's a
different.
process.
Yep.
Right. So it's like, and I think it's like one thing to say is like, you're always going to go through cycles, you know what I'm saying? And like, I experience this a lot with like productivity cycles and being able to be productive and keep things going is like, you're going to have times where it feels just kind of down. And I've been stressing out a lot because like college is coming up. I'm making applications to transfer, like things are changing for me. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm thinking a lot about moving out, like in a year from now, I'll be in my own apartment.
I like it.
Moved out. You
Very
know what
good.
I'm saying?
That's fire.
And like, it's fire, but it's also terrifying.
It is
it's
terrifying.
a terrifying thing because I'm like, okay, how am I going to make rent? How am I going to pay for all these things? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different kind of level of thing I have to think about, right? But what's cool to me is I can make Thinking Wealthy content all the way along, right? And keep kind of sharing that journey with you guys as well. So that's kind of my thought process right now.
For me, I'll start from the last episode. I told you guys I want to get in the gym and I want to do monk mode. I've done the gym and
He's been killing it, by the way.
Yeah, it's been
and
killing it.
really, like, I don't know. It's so cool to say this though. I'm like living the life that I like dreamed of living like just this summer. Like, I remember being in Hawaii, like fantasizing about having a clothing brand and like doing all these things, and now I'm literally doing them.
Yes, sir.
Literally just making steps every day, like, I hope they're in the right direction, and usually they are. I've gotten so much support from friends and like reaching out to people that inspire me on Instagram, and I've gotten some numbers and talked to them. Like, I don't know, I just have really been going full force on like my project that I'm working on, and I wouldn't say I'm successful by any means, but like at least I'm doing the things that I want to do.
That is successful.
That is successful.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
because you're not making money doesn't mean you're not successful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you're
so-
doing so much more than anyone else. You know what I'm saying?
Money is a
you're pushing
byproduct of
yourself
success.
to get there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
So
true.
don't bag on yourself and say I'm not successful by any means.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
You're
you're
becoming the
far more
character of
successful
success,
than,
yeah.
than you're giving yourself credit for.
All right,
You know
I
what I'm saying?
appreciate it. I guess I'm trying to say, like, I don't have a lot of experience in this, but I can say that it does feel good to start.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
That's
And-
what you got to do.
So when I was in Hawaii and over the summer, I was just thinking about like I want to do this, and this, and now I'm starting to do it, and it's really cool. And I've been getting help from people on Instagram and friends that I actually have in real life, and like building more relationships. So it's up from here.
That's awesome.
But I got a lot of work
Yes,
to
sir.
do in the gym too, and everything like that. So
We always got work to do.
We all grinding.
Always can move forward. You know what I'm saying?
There's always new mountain peaks to find every single time.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I think this was a fantastic episode.
me too. Did
We're
y'all
kinda-
like the location?
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
switched it up again for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Switched up again. New
This is the
location.
12K special. 'cause
12
we did
oh yeah,
12K
we
this
literally hit
morning.
12K
Yes,
this morning.
sir.
Happy
12K
12K.
this morning.
Appreciate you
So
guys.
from here on out, we're expect some more uploads on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Discord.
Yep.
We've so far have accomplished 2 of the goals we set for our month.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you for 100 followers on Instagram. We're actually at like 150, 160 now.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
Our second goal that we hit was 60 members on the Discord, and now we're at like 65. So join
Yeah.
that. And we're so happy. I
For
don't know.
real.
I'm just proud to be part of this team.
It's a great time being part of this team and doing things that
Mm.
people aren't doing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We're talking about things and bringing to light ideas that people aren't thinking
We're
about.
bringing
and aren't
someone
doing.
else into this thing.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true.
Possibly.
We
Another
possibly
person.
got another person that we're gonna have on the podcast
Ooh.
soon. New podcast guest, potential member.
Very
You know what I'm
different
saying?
from
Mhm.
what you
A
might
different
expect.
view, a different
Yeah.
idea, and a different perspective, and that's what we're
But that's
trying
all.
to do.
That's all we're gonna say.
That's all
on
we can
that.
say for now.
That's all we're gonna say for now.
But
Tune
yeah.
in next week, bro. Make sure to be following us.
But yeah, you guys, keep up the greatness. We're proud of you. Remember to pay the fee, all right? I guarantee we provided you some value. So get us some value back.
Yes,
the
sir.
We appreciate you guys. It is 6 a.m. Monday, Pacific Standard Time. It's a beautiful week. Go
Beautiful
make
week.
someone happy and tell your mom that you love her.
Go tell her.
All right, guys.
Good morning.
We will see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.